Hi there, this is Stephen from the Canterbury Crusaders. This is the first of our Allies videos, and we thought, why not? We'll look at vanilla Space Marines. What can they bring to you as an Allied detachment? What units they have that are unique or the most useful, perhaps? If you're going to be bringing them along as allies to your main force. Obviously, being loyalist Space Marines, they've got access to a lot of other armies when it comes to being an ally option. Guard, a lot of the other loyalist chapters, they don't have any particular problems with them, unlike, say, Space Wolves and Dark Angels, which have somewhat slight grievances with each other. Vanilla Marines can side along with anyone, or most people. Obviously, there are certain Xenos or certain Chaos they're not quite as friendly with, but there are other alien races who they'll gladly pal around with, say like Tau, Eldar to a certain extent. But we're going to have a look at what we think are some of the better units to take if you're going to be taking that small allied force to join in with your main army. Right, we're using Lawrence's Size of the Emperor army for these purposes. The guy on the left is his counts as Lysander. Lysander, brilliant, really hard to kill, has a couple of synergistic elements that work really well with other parts of a Space Marine army. For instance, the Scouts that we've taken here as an option for a troop choice. He's very good. Obviously, he can buff a piece of terrain for +1 cover save, a ruin specifically, which obviously, in addition to say someone like Telion, who's sitting at the front of the squad, and camo cloaks, that's a 1-up cover save, but potentially he obviously has the option of buffing a different piece of terrain to the terrain that Telion and his scouts are hiding in, so that you've got that more defensive part of the army. It's tough, it's resilient, which obviously brings us to the scouts. With Telion and the camo cloaks, we're looking at a 2+ cover save. That's pretty tough. I'm not sure you necessarily want to take Telion, depending on if you're taking Lysander or not. Again, the whole 10 scout squad, maybe 5-man, no other upgrades if you really want to push it. You know, you can look at 90 points for 5 scouts with camo cloaks. Placement a bit of terrain that Lysander there has increased this cover save of. It's only 5 guys, toughness 4, 2-up save. You know, and those sniper rifles, given the troop choice they are, it's by far the better weapon of the Scouts armament. Again, optional crack missile or frag missile a turn, depending on what you're fighting against. Again, the sniper rifles can be useful. You can place your shots. You can wound you can wound anything on a 4, and you've got that option of rending. So they are a utility squad, which, to be honest, in this sort of situation is all you'd be taking them for. Again, my own personal preference is perhaps for a smaller squad size and maybe not Telion. Here is another unit that benefits a lot from Lysander. Talking Stern Guard and a drop pod. Very unique unit to Vanilla Marines. Only other found in Blood Angels. You drop those guys down turn 1. Your choice of special ammunition with 20 bolt gun shots, re-rolling misses. There go Space Marine squads. There go monstrous creatures with their 2+ wound. Some guys are in cover with a ridiculously good cover save. They haven't got a cover save anymore. You name it, these guys have got an answer for it. Their options, you know, combi weapons of all types, heavy flamers. They're great for almost any enemy you could face. They've got an answer to everything. Great unit, bit expensive on the point side if you're going to take all 10 with upgrades. The other thing you need to be aware of is obviously if you do get assaulted, which you probably will, Lysander can tank a challenge because he's obviously got that Storm Shield and Eternal Warrior on a 4-wound model in Terminator armour. Give the Sarge like a power sword or something, he can start shanking up Marines or anything with a worse armour save than Marines. And obviously a couple of combi melters in there can help you take out some tanks. Flamers perhaps if you're looking to be facing a lot of infantry. And then maybe a couple of combi plasmas spread out through the squad, you know, in case you come across Terminators or something of that ilk with a 2+ save that you really need to get rid of. Lastly, fast attack choice. It's a flyer, and thanks to that £20 FAQ GW have just released, it's got strafing run. Strafing run on a 150 point model with twin linked assault cannons and a choice of heavy weapons. Very good against ground targets. Personally, I think you'd be better off giving it the Typhoon launcher still, even though it's still the same points. You didn't get the decrease. With obviously the Typhoon launcher, you get the option of crack or frag, which both work very well with the twin-linked assault cannons. This is skill 5 against ground targets. That thing's going to murder marine squads, infantry squads in the open, anything like that. No one will want to take anything out of cover when it knows that thing's flying around. I'm not so sure about the Strength 7 sort of Skyfire missiles, the 60-inch range ones. Not brilliant, but obviously GW realised no one was taking that upgrade, so they reduced the points cost of that in the 20 quid FAQ. The other thing obviously it has is that escort ability. Depending on what else you've got in your army, depends on what it can escort. Obviously, if you haven't got anything else you're going to be putting in reserve, or you've got something that you want to come in at the same time as it. You know, obviously points wise, you're looking at either the Storm Talon or perhaps 2 land speeders. You know, I'm not sure Heavy and Flame and multi-motor land speeders are quite the way to go anymore. So I think actually this is a worthy and decent addition from the Marine Codex. Seeing as obviously everyone's escalated, you know, someone's got a flyer, I need a flyer. Someone's got a defence line, I need a defence line to take out their flyer. You might as well have one that's decent or decent enough. Obviously it's an Imperial flyer, which means it's quite a bit better than most of the Xenos counterparts. It does its job well. It can take out other flyers, take out infantry, can take out tanks as well. All round, it's a pretty decent bit of kit and will do well in any allied force. Okay, well that brings us to the end of our Allies segment about the vanilla Marine Codex. Those are the units that we thought are probably the better ones that you're going to be taking as allies. They add something unique to your list, something you can't necessarily find in your own codex. We're going to be bringing some more of these allies videos up soon, looking at some of the Xenos as well as some of the other Imperial and Loyalist factions.